Our colleagues and guests, let's break down the sequence of events of what really happened earlier in the day. As I pointed out, this was an Indigo flight. It was 6C024. It was on its way from the national capital to Raipur. The flight was still at the tarmac, where police officials identified Pawan Khera and asked him to deboard the flight. But Pawan Khera was not alone in the flight. There were other members of the Congress party who were there with him as well, who at that point also started to ask a lot of questions. So after Pawan Khera was in fact deboarded and deplaned, this is where the drama actually began, because the rest of the Congress leaders who were as part of the Congress delegation, like Randeep Singh Surjewala, the Congress spokesperson, Supriya Shrenet and others, they also now asked the airline that they wanted to deboard as well, and they all got down at the tarmac and then started to protest. The flight was originally scheduled to depart from the national capital at 11:45 a.m. Surjewala was seen asking for warrants. The Congress leaders were also asking for questions as to what is the real reason as to why Pawan Khera has been deboarded and why the flight hasn't left the national capital on its way to Raipur. Then what happened after that? Then you also had Pawan Khera being taken into custody. He was taken to the Dwarka court. He was taken for his medical as well. Randeep Singh Surjewala was accompanying him at this point. The Congress started to raise questions that this is just misuse of agencies and this is just vendetta politics and nothing else. As we pointed out, Pawan Khera was then taken into court. This entire matter reached the Supreme Court as well. And from the Supreme Court, there has been a partial relief that has been given to Pawan Khera. Also, the Supreme Court ordered that all the FIRs against him can be clubbed and he should be released immediately on interim bail. Before we go across to our colleagues, let's listen in to some political reactions.
Joining me now is छत्तीसगढ़ चीफ मिनिस्टर मिस्टर भूपेश बघेल। मिस्टर बघेल, आपने बहुत ड्रामा देखा होगा आज दिल्ली के एयरपोर्ट में, जहां पे पवन खेरा को अरेस्ट भी किया गया, अभी उनको इंटरिम बेल भी मिला है।
देखिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुत डरी हुई है। राहुल जी के भारत जोड़ो यात्रा के बाद हाथ से हाथ जोड़ो यात्रा और राष्ट्रीय महाधिवेशन हो रहा है, इससे बहुत घबराई हुई है। पहले तो छत्तीसगढ़ में यहाँ जो अधिवेशन से जुड़े हुए जो लोग थे उसके यहाँ छापा डाले, ईडी का कुछ मिला नहीं। उसके बाद पवन खेरा जी को प्लेन से उतारा गया। ये पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है। इतना बड़ा कोई मामला नहीं था जिससे प्लेन से उतारा जाए और जो आसाम पुलिस का इंतजार करवाया जाए। मैं तो पहली बार देख रहा हूँ इस प्रकार से हो। कोई बहुत बड़ा क्रिमिनल हो, देश छोड़ के जा रहा हो, उससे पकड़ने के बाद समझ आती है। लेकिन एक राजनीतिक व्यक्ति कांग्रेस के राष्ट्रीय प्रवक्ता के साथ इस प्रकार से व्यवहार करना, इसका मतलब है कि बहुत डरी हुई है।
क्या आप लोगों के लिए, क्या आपकी पार्टी के लिए ये एक इशू बनेगा? 2024 के चुनाव में भी आप ये दिखाने की कोशिश करोगे कि हमारे को अटैक किया जा रहा है, टारगेट किया जा रहा है?
ये तो जनता पूरा देख रही है और इससे स्पष्ट हो गया है कि 2024 में जाने वाले हैं और उसी कारण से घबराहट में, डर में ये हम लोगों को प्रताड़ित, कांग्रेस जनों को प्रताड़ित करने को।
आखिरी सवाल, पर्सनल अटैक ऑन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर यूजुअली बूमरैंग करता है, क्या आपको लगता है पवन खेरा जी को शायद वो कमेंट नहीं करना चाहिए था?
देखिए, ये बात तो प्रधानमंत्री जी से पूछना चाहिए। सोनिया जी के बारे में उन्होंने क्या कहा, राहुल जी के बारे में क्या कहा। प्रधानमंत्री जब वो खुद 2014, 2018, 19 में जब वो कह सकते हैं तो शुरुआत तो उन्होंने की, उसके मंत्रियों ने की, उनके राष्ट्रीय पार्टी नेताओं ने की। अब उसके बाद दूसरे से क्या उम्मीद करेंगे? शुरुआत जब आपने की है तो जो आप दोगे वही तो लौटेगा।
छत्तीसगढ़। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस।
Well, there we had the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh speaking to us here at CNN News 18. The Congress essentially making the point that this is not the first time that any political party is indulged in name calling. How is it that when the BJP does, it's okay, but when the Congress does something similar, there are cases that are filed? This is just vendetta politics. Let's also bring in our colleagues. We have Sharon Elizabeth, who in fact has been tracking all these developments for us. And for the legal perspective, we also have our colleague Ananya Bhatnagar. Ananya, I want to come to you first. This entire matter very quickly reached the Supreme Court as well. You had Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who was arguing in favor of Pawan Khera. Just take us through quickly the arguments that were made and the interim relief that has been given to Pawan Khera as well.
Well, the matter reached the Supreme Court. Senior Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who's already arguing before the topmost court of the country in the Maharashtra political crisis, actually mentioned that matter before a bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, who, after concluding his constitution bench, actually sat for this matter, heard this particular matter, and in fact, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi himself contended before the Supreme Court that the language that was used by Mr. Pawan Khera was something that he himself does not endorses, and he says that an unconditional apology would be given out by Mr. Khera on this particular aspect, though he had his stand clear that Pawan Khera did not do it intentionally. It was a mistake that had happened in a slip of tongue. But ASG Aishwarya Bhati was appearing for the state of Assam clearly opposed all of these submissions, clearly saying that it was a deliberate attempt, it was a deliberate statement that was given out by Mr. Pawan Khera. But after hearing all of these arguments, after hearing all of these sides from both of these ends, whether it's from Pawan Khera's end or from the state of Assam's end, the Supreme Court felt that it should exercise its its precedent in the Arnab Goswami judgment and gave out an order of clubbing all of those FIRs, and also giving out a liberty to Pawan Khera to approach the particular forum to actually exercise his legal remedies there. But at the same point of time gave him an interim protection and said, in fact, interim bail even for the said period, which will continue till Tuesday, and the hearing on this perspective will continue in the Supreme Court on Monday. While what is happening right behind
relief
me
has been given. Ananya, we'll just
8.
come back to you in just a bit. So as Ananya is pointing out, at least as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, there has been a partial relief, interim bail that has been granted to Pawan Khera as well. But what about the political aspect of it, the charges that are being levied by the Congress at this point? Sharon, this is where I want to bring you in the conversation. We've seen multiple reactions that have come in from the BJP all through the day, and they're saying that this is exactly what will happen if you indulge in name calling, because the Congress is not doing it for the first time. You've already had it backfire against you in the past. So why are you playing the victim card now? How is the Congress responding to the specific criticism?
Well, the Congress party has been saying in the expected lines. They have been saying that this is nothing but vendetta politics. Whoever tried to dissent against this government are put behind the bars. The agencies are in fact left behind them. So these are of course an expected line. The statements that are coming from the Congress leaders are very much expected. And now in just moments from now, Jairam Ramesh is also going to address a press conference. But what is important to note here is that though Pawan Khera has got a relief, the matter should probably go on after Tuesday. Now he will be flying to Raipur, where the plenary session is going to start from tomorrow. But the whole matter is in fact an opportunity for the Congress party. They will keep on hitting at the government because they've been saying that this is nothing but vendetta politics. The police are being misused. The BJP-run state police are being misused. The agencies are misused against the opposition party. So this is of course a fodder that the Congress party have got, and clearly in this particular plenary session there are of course going to be focus on two prime speakers. One is Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, who are going to address on the last day of the plenary session, and clearly this is going to be one of the crucial topics that will be taken up by both the Gandhis, and they will be hitting out at the government because the Congress party has been saying that not just the Congress leaders but even the BJP leaders have made statement against Sonia Gandhi, have made statement against Rahul Gandhi. Then why misusing agencies and Delhi polices of state polices particularly against Congress leaders is the question that is being asked. So clearly this is a fodder at the moment for the Congress party, and they are going to continue to hit out at them, calling this nothing but vendetta politics, dictatorship by the BJP government.
Okay, Sharon and Ananya, thanks a lot for getting us all those details. I'll request our guests to just stay on with us. We're quickly shifting our focus to some big breaking developments coming in, and we'll come back to this conversation. News coming in as far as Amritpal and his supporters were concerned, who had given an ultimatum to the Punjab police. Now we're understanding the Punjab police have given in to Amritpal and his demands. The police commissioner is saying Lovepreet Tufan, one of the aides of Amritpal, in fact, will be released in the next 24 hours. We had seen a lot of drama play out. The Ajnala police station, where the supporters of Amritpal had get out the entire police station. They had given an ultimatum to the police that either you arrest Amritpal or you quash the FIR against him. This was also because of the FIRs that were lodged against the supporters of Amritpal. But the big development that's now coming in, that the Punjab police seems to have given in to the demands of Amritpal. Let's bring in our colleague Napinder Brar, who's been tracking all these developments. Napinder, ये काफी बड़ा डिसीजन आया है. अमृतपाल ने क्लियर वार्निंग, एक टाइमलाइन पंजाब पुलिस को दिया था. अब हमें समझ में आ रहा है कि उनकी जो एक एड है लवप्रीत तूफान, 24 घंटे में उनको रिहा कर दिया जाएगा.
देखिए, पुलिस का ये बयान कहीं ना कहीं लगता है कि पुलिस ने जिस तरह की हालात देखी है तो उसके बाद पुलिस को लगा कि ये जिस तरह का माहौल पैदा हो गया उसके बाद पीछे हटना पड़ेगा। देखिए, पुलिस के पास ऐसी पावर रहती है, मान लीजिए कितना भी बड़ा क्राइम क्यों ना हो, उसमें पुलिस के पास इतने अधिकार रहते हैं कि वो किसी को डिस्चार्ज कर सकते हैं। कोर्ट में जाकर के एक एप्लीकेशन देते हैं और उस पर तुरंत उस जो मुलजिम होता है उसे डिस्चार्ज करके जेल से रिहा करवा सकते हैं। तो लगता है कि पुलिस अब सीधे तौर पर, जिस तरह से अमृतपाल कह रहे थे कि इनके पास कोई एविडेंस नहीं है, सबूत नहीं है, तो अमृतपाल की तरफ से, जो इनके ग्रुप की तरफ से जो उन्हें एविडेंस दिए गए कि ये देखिए जिस वक्त ये वाकयात हुआ उस वक्त हमारा बंदा वहां पे नहीं था, ये किसी अलग जगह पर था, लेकिन आपने इसे फालतली FIR में इंक्लूड कर दिया। तो उन सारी चीजों को देखते हुए पुलिस को एक ग्राउंड चाहिए थी, पुलिस को एक ग्राउंड चाहिए होता है। उसी के बाद लगता है कि पुलिस ने ये डिसीजन लिया है। अब कमिश्नर लेवल के अधिकारी अगर ऐसा स्टेटमेंट देते हैं तो इससे कहीं ना कहीं कह सकते हैं कि अमृतपाल का जो आज का एजुकेशन रहा और अमृतपाल का कद आज बढ़ जाएगा पुलिस के सामने, क्योंकि जिस तरह के हालात पैदा हुए तो लगता है कि ये पुलिस के लिए और स्टेट के लिए आने वाले दिनों में और बड़ी चुनौती
जी। और इसकी क्या पॉलिटिकल रैमिफिकेशंस होंगी पंजाब पुलिस के लिए, इसका क्या मतलब है? नपिंदर हमारे साथ बने रहिए, हम ये डिस्कशन कंटिन्यू करेंगे, पर हम बीजेपी से भी एक रिएक्शन लेना चाहते हैं। हरजीत सिंह गेरेवाल ऑफ द बीजेपी ऑल्सो नाउ जॉइनिंग अस। हरजीत जी, जो इनपुट्स अभी आ रहे हैं कि जो डिमांड्स थे अमृतपाल की वो पंजाब पुलिस ने मान ली है, क्योंकि अब हमें ये समझ में आ रहा है कि उनके जो एक एड थे लवप्रीत तूफान, उनको इनफैक्ट 24 घंटे में रिहा कर दिया जाएगा। आप कैसे देखते हैं इस डेवलपमेंट को?
ये पंजाब पुलिस और पंजाब सरकार जो है उसने एक तरह से अमृतपाल की गुंडागर्दी के सामने घुटने टेके और ये वही टाइम आ गया है जो पहले था और जिसमें भिंडरा वाले के सामने ऐसे ही सरकार नतमस्तक होती थी। शुरू में लोग उसके साथ नहीं थे, बाद में पब्लिक उसकी जनमत उसके साथ हो गया। तो मैं समझता हूँ ये एक बुरी बात है और इस तरह से ही अमृतपाल को स्ट्रेंथन कर रहे हैं जानबूझ के और पंजाब के हालात खराब करवाएंगे। उसके लिए केजरीवाल, भगवंत मान और इसकी सरकार जिम्मेदार होगी। अगर इससे ढीली कार्रवाई करते हैं, इसके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। जिस तरह से वो गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का सहारा लेके और उसके अंदर पुलिस स्टेशन पे गया, जिस तरह से जख्मी हुए पुलिस वाले, जिस तरह से पत्रकार जख्मी हुए, मुझे उनके परिवारों के साथ हमदर्दी है। ये इस सब के जिम्मेदार पंजाब सरकार है। पंजाब सरकार की गलत पॉलिसीज है। ये पंजाब के हालात खराब होंगे तो ये जिम्मेदार होंगे और मैं समझता हूँ ये बुरी बात है। जब कमिश्नर ने स्टेटमेंट दे दी तो निश्चित है कि रिहाई हो जाएगी, तो ये बुरी बात है। इनके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई। ऐसे तो पुलिस स्टेशनों पे हर कोई कब्जा कर लिया करेगा।
जी, यही सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती थी हरजीत जी। जो आप कह रहे हैं वो काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है। आप कह रहे हैं कि अगर पुलिस ने अपने घुटने टेक दिए तो आगे सब कुछ ऐसा ही एक पैटर्न बनता जाएगा, क्योंकि आज जो हमने विजुअल्स देखे पूरी दोपहर भर, वो अमृतपाल के सारे जो सपोर्टर्स थे उन्होंने एक तरीके से पुलिस स्टेशन पे कब्जा कर लिया था। उनके हाथों में तलवारें भी थी, बाकी चीजें भी थी, उन्होंने बैरिकेड्स को भी गिराया, काफी हाथापाई भी हुई। तो ये लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन पे काफी बड़ा सवाल भी खड़ा करता है।
बिल्कुल करता है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन पे। और मैं ये कहता हूँ कि जिस तरह से वहाँ ये प्रदर्शन हुआ है, इस तरह से श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का सहारा लिया गया, ये सबसे बड़ी बेअदबी है। इसका दोषी अमृतपाल है और पंजाब के हालात खराब करने का भी दोषी अमृतपाल है और पंजाब सरकार भी दोषी है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये लोगों को संज्ञान में लेना चाहिए। पंजाब के लोगों को पहले 23,000 से ज्यादा लोग, बेगुनाह लोग मारे गए थे, हत्या हो गई थी। अब फिर इस तरह के काम करने की तरफ पंजाब सरकार और पंजाब पुलिस की ये गतिविधियां बढ़ रही हैं और अमृतपाल को सख्ती से काबू करना चाहिए।
मैं आपसे एक चीज और समझना चाहती हूँ, जो अमृतपाल जैसे लोग हैं वो कंट्रोवर्सीज में पहली बार नहीं आ रहे। उनके काफी कमेंट्स पास में भी काफी कंट्रोवर्शियल रहे हैं, पास में वो अरेस्ट भी हो चुके हैं, उनके काफी एड्स पर भी केसेस हैं। आज उन्हें एक तरीके की धमकी दी थी पुलिस को, या तो आप ये करो नहीं तो जो रेपरकशंस होंगे वो आप सबको देखना पड़ेगा। आज जब पुलिस सामने आके ये कहती है कि उनके एक एड को 24 घंटे में रिहा कर दिया जाएगा, आपको क्या लगता है आगे वाले दिन में कितना डेंजरस बनेगा?
ये बहुत ज्यादा डेंजरस बनेगा। आज एक पुलिस स्टेशन पे कब्जा हुआ है, आगे चल के पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट पे होगा, फिर पूरे प्रदेश डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा और इस बॉर्डर स्टेट है, इसको डिस्टर्ब करेंगे। ये नहीं होना चाहिए।
आप इस समय पंजाब सरकार से क्या मांग करेंगे?
पंजाब सरकार को सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए, नहीं तो पंजाब सरकार पंजाब के हालात खराब कराने की दोषी होगी और पंजाब के लोगों की गुनाहगार होगी। और ये केजरीवाल भी उसकी पॉलिसी सब गुनाहगार हो गई। और ये अमृतपाल को ये सिख आगू है, कोई धार्मिक आगू है, और ये तो एक गुंडा है और गुंडों का गिरोह इसने तैयार किया है। क्या है ये? क्यों नहीं इनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होती? इनको जेल में क्यों नहीं भेजा जाता? ये मैं समझता हूँ एक बहुत बुरी घटना है और ऐसी बार बार नहीं होनी चाहिए। और इसमें इसको और इनके साथियों को एग्जाम्पलरी पनिशमेंट होनी चाहिए ताकि दोबारा कोई दूसरा ऐसी हिम्मत ना कर सके। ये तो एक तरह का पुलिस स्टेशन को कैप्चर किया गया, जैसे आतंकवादी करते हैं, टेररिस्ट करते हैं, और श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का सहारा लेके कर लिया। आगे से हर कोई श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का सहारा लेगा, ये नहीं होना चाहिए। ये बेअदबी का भी दोषी है, वो मुकदमा इसमें चलना चाहिए।
जी, हरजीत सिंह जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। दिस इज अ बिग स्टोरी दैट वी कंटिन्यू टू ट्रैक और व्हाट रियली इज प्लेड आउट इन पंजाब टुडे, specifically at the Ajnala police station. The big development though coming in that the Punjab police seems to have given in to the demands of Amritpal and his supporters. This is a story that we'll keep tracking, but for now we're shifting our focus back to the big story that we began the show with, which is what happened at the IGI Airport, that entire drama that played out at the tarmac because Pawan Khera of the Congress party was deboarded from an Indigo flight, and then the case reached the Supreme Court also. Then we did understand that he's been given a partial relief and interim bail has also been given. Let's bring in our guests also. We have Gopal Krishna Agarwal, spokesperson as far as the BJP is concerned. We also have spokesperson from the Congress party, Dolly Sharma. Good to have both of you on the broadcast with us. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, I'd like to begin the conversation with you. At the crux of what really happened today was a comment that was made by Pawan Khera. Here the Congress is saying, is it the first time that any political party has indulged in name calling? How is it that when the BJP indulges in similar name calling, whether it's Nehru or for the Gandhis, it's okay, but when the Congress does it, an entire controversy is created?
No, it is not like that. The thing is that the law, the Congress people think that they are above law. That is not right. They will have to abide by the laws and the process of the law. And this is not the first time that any hate speech or this kind of derogatory remark have been punished, whether in the law or by the people of the country or the people in power. We have seen this thing in the opposition ruled state of Maharashtra or Bengal also. There has been similar cases and the law has taken its course. So if there is a derogatory remark which insults the Prime Minister and not even the Prime Minister, his family in such a low manner, again and then further they are doing a demonstration at the airport, which is also against the law. So if they don't have faith in the institutions, they don't have faith in the Prime Minister's institution, they don't believe our election commission. Congress has always been doing this with everything, that all the democratic institutions have to be denounced and in the and then
I agree with the point that you're making. The demonstration at the tarmac was not okay, inconveniencing the other passengers was not okay. But just the simple point that the Congress is making, that has the BJP not indulged in name calling? Have they not made barbs and taunts as far as the Nehru family is concerned? And they are saying that this in fact was not even said intentionally. They've been saying for the longest time that this was a slip of tongue. And this was in fact said by Abhishek Manu Singhvi when he was representing Pawan Khera today as well.
It's an afterthought by the Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Pawan Khera that they have been said sorry. You can listen to the recording, you will clearly find that it was clearly intentional on the part of Pawan Khera to insult the Prime Minister, and not even the Prime Minister, his family, his parent, his father, in such a derogatory manner that he was talking about. Sorry, that the way, the second repetition. So that is just not at any time in the legal terms or anywhere. You will find that the intention of Pawan Khera was to insult the Prime Minister of India.
So the BJP is saying this was said intentionally. There was an intent to target the Prime Minister. Before I go across to the spokesperson of the Congress party, some political reactions coming in, and I'll just come back to the spokesperson of the Congress party.
आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। आज मैं इस छत्तीसगढ़ के पावन धरती पे आया हूँ और मैं पहली बार कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष के नाते आने से मुझे इतनी खुशी हो गई है कि यहाँ की जनता यहाँ के लोग और आप लोगों से मिलके भी बड़ा खुशी हुआ है। लेकिन रंज की बात यह है, जब मैं यहाँ पर अपने प्लेनरी सेशन में एंट्री कर रहा था तो मेरे बहुत से कार्यकर्ताओं को, स्पोक्सपर्सन्स को और भी नेताओं को बीजेपी की सरकार उनको हरासमेंट कर रही है और खास करके हमारे स्पोक्सपर्सन हमारे पवन खेरा जी को अरेस्ट करके, वो भी आसान थी पुलिस आकर उनको अरेस्ट करे, लेकिन कानून में वैसा कोई प्राविधान नहीं है। लेकिन मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनको जमानत दी और एक तमाचा उनके ऊपर गिरा। ऐसे इंसिडेंट जो हुजूर जनता को भड़काने का काम ये जो बीजेपी सरकार कर रही है, इसका मैं खंडन करता हूँ और ऐसी चीज़ें डेमोक्रेसी में नहीं होना चाहिए। हम जब पार्लियामेंट के अंदर बोलना चाहते हैं तो भी ये लोग हमको बोलने नहीं देते, जब हम अपनी बात बाहर रखना चाहते हैं तो उस वक्त भी बोलना चाहते हैं।
So there we heard from Mallikarjun Kharge speaking on Pawan Khera being deported. Essentially the point that the Congress has been making, that this is just vendetta politics, this is misuse of agencies. Dolly Sharma, let me bring you in the conversation. But the larger question still is, why does the Congress keep indulging in name calling like this? Why does the Congress think that it's okay to try and bring down the Prime Minister and this time around go one step forward to get the late father of the Prime Minister as well? When will political parties understand where to draw the line? That's the larger question that is being asked.
Madam, I was listening to the BJP spokesperson also, and I think if it is so, the first person who should be arrested is the Prime Minister of this country. He should set an example because he was the one who used such derogatory remarks for the Nehru Gandhi family, also Madam Sonia Gandhi ji, and I cannot say it again and again. Everybody knows he said what he said for Shashi Tharoor ji's wife, who is no more, Sunanda Pushkar ji. He used such bad words. I don't know how many times for Sonia Gandhi ji. And this is in public domain. Everybody can listen to it. And also for today's incident, by deplaning Pawan Khera ji, by arresting Pawan Khera ji, it is exactly, they've done, Modi government just proved the point that Pawan Khera ji was making that day. He cannot take anything against Adani ji. He has, I don't know what bond he shares with Adani ji. He cannot take anything against Adani ji. What Pawan Khera ji did was, he spoke, he said sorry for that thing.
So was this intentional? The comment that was made by Pawan Khera, was it intentional then?
Madam, he said sorry in front of the camera. If he's talking about the video, you can take out the video and see. It was well in
Congress
open in the
has
public
to
domain.
clarify
Sorry in front of everybody.
what is their intent. They have been doing it for so
No, they
many
know all
times.
the intentions. I want to ask him, what is the
No, but what
No,
is
no,
their
okay.
intent?
So the Congress, one sec. So the Congress party is saying the intent was never to put down the Prime Minister. One sec. Dolly Sharma, one sec. Gopal Krishna Agrawal also. So Dolly Sharma, the Congress party is saying that the intent was never there to put down the Prime Minister or, get their family members involved. It was a genuine slip of tongue. Let's come back to the events that unfolded today. If Pawan Khera had, police officials wanted him to deboard or deplane, why were the other passengers inconvenienced because of Pawan Khera? Just because Pawan Khera has been asked to deboard, you have the entire Congress delegation that also says that we will also deboard, which means that there is a delay of almost 3 to 4 hours for the rest of the passengers who continue to be waiting. So why is it okay that because of one Congress leader, the other passengers are inconvenienced?
Congress party did nothing. We were just asking for the papers. They had no papers, no official orders in hand. Leaders of Congress party were again and again asking for the papers. They had no papers in hand. Initially, they said something, then they changed their statements. When Pawan Khera ji went down, they again changed the statements and then they arrested. Is it such a big crime Why don't they go and arrest the murderers like that? Pawanji was arrested for the slip of tongue. But Monu Manesar, after murdering people, is out. Why don't they send the people to arrest him just the way they did today? This is totally a murder of democracy.
If you look into
Gopal Krishna Agarwal, respond to the criticism that this is murder of democracy. You know, the voices are just being stifled. This is something that we heard all through the Bharat Jodo Yatra as well, that the BJP today is scared because of the rise of the Congress party or the traction that they're getting on the ground, and they continue to use central agencies. And this is something not just the Congress but other opposition parties are also saying against the BJP, that for how long will you continue to use agencies to satiate a narrative?
We have to understand, Ridhima, that if the law-abiding citizens have to work, the agencies have to take them and implement law. If the agencies are working as per the law, then the government cannot say that you cannot work because of the Congress is above the law. The thing is, if the Congress has faith in the as a law-abiding citizens in the agencies, they should have faith in the court. They should have faith in the police. They should have. Why did they take the law into their hand at the airport? If now the police will take action against them, they will cry this is a vendetta politics. They have done something which is
but
very
Gopal Krishna Agarwal, here the Congress is saying that it was a genuine question. We didn't know why Pawan Khera. One sec, Dolly Sharma. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, the Congress. No, I'm coming back to you only. The Congress is saying that it was a genuine concern. We didn't know why Pawan Khera was deboarded, and thus we wanted answers because the rest of the delegation had already cleared security. He had also cleared security. So we didn't know why police officials suddenly wanted to deplane him.
So they will take the law into their hand. Now, if the police will take action against their senior leaders for violating the law of the airport, now they will say this is a vendetta politics. What is this? So they should have abided by the law as per the requirement. It was the police, they wanted to detain him. They should on with them.
Yeah, Dolly Sharma, that's where this becomes problematic, right? If the Congress party feels that even if the agencies are being misused, why not just cooperate with the law? If nothing comes out of it, that's great. That will be a report card for that will be a report card for the Congress party to show. But just because one Pawan Khera has been deplaned or deboarded, why this is an entire security area that we're talking about. There are certain rules as far as the movement on the tarmac is concerned. It's not just the entire delegation that walked out of the flight, but they continue to protest at the tarmac as well, which not only delayed the flight, but impacted other flights as well. So why is it okay that because of one Congress leader, the others had to bear a brunt?
No, in the agitation at the airport, they again used the derogatory remark, Modi teri kabr khude.
One sec, let Dolly Sharma respond. Dolly.
Madam, today Modani is above the law. If anybody raises question against Adani, every spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party becomes the spokesperson of Adani.
No, Dolly Sharma, I'm running out of time. Just help me understand, why did Pawan Khera not decide to just cooperate with the police officials? Why did the rest of the delegation also want to leave the flight and not just let the flight actually take off?
Madam, we just wanted to see those papers. They were not able to show the papers. They did not show any papers.
These are all their allegations, ma'am.
Okay.
These are all their allegations. There is no linkage of any issue through their allegation in the public domain.
Okay. This entire case, as we said, has reached the Supreme Court also. Today, there has been a partial relief that's been given to Pawan Khera, at least till Tuesday. We'll have to see how this case pays out, literally plays out in the coming days. Congress continues to say that this is vendetta politics and nothing else. I'd like to thank our guests, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, as well as Dolly Sharma. We're slipping into a very short break, coming back with lots more.
But sources are also indicating that this could be because of an already existing FIR against Pawan Khera. The flight has already been delayed. But the larger question also is, which is going to be very important to track here, Poonam, is that in a case like this, what happens to the other passengers who in fact have been waiting as the Congress continues to protest? Under this, there are already guidelines that if one particular passenger inconveniences the others, there can be action taken, though nothing has been confirmed by the airline yet. We're still awaiting an official confirmation.
Right, Ridhima, like you said, what exactly happens to those people who are bearing the brunt of this protest that continues on the tarmac here at the Delhi airport? Do stay on with me. Let's listen into what Pawan Khera and the other Congress leaders had to say after he was deboarded.
मुझे भी नहीं मालूम, मुझे कहा गया आपका सामान दिखवाना है, मैंने कहा मेरे पास कोई सामान है ही नहीं, हैंड बैग है, मुझे नहीं पता, आप आइए, कंफ्यूजन है। नीचे आया तो कहा कि आप नहीं जा सकते, अभी डीसीपी आएंगे आपसे मिलने। मुझे खुद नहीं मालूम, पिछले 20 मिनट से डीसीपी की इंतजार कर रहे हैं। क्या नियम है, क्या कानून है, क्यों मुझे रोका जा रहा है, मुझे नहीं मालूम। इंतजार ही कर रहा हूँ डीसीपी साहब की आ जाए फिर देखिए।
हम लोग 6204 इंडिगो की फ्लाइट से दिल्ली से रायपुर जा रहे थे। इस फ्लाइट में मेरे कोलीग पवन खेरा जी मेरे साथ थे, यहाँ पर जीएसओ है, यहाँ पे रणदीप जी है, काफी सारे लोग हम लोग थे कांग्रेस के। और पवन खेरा जी को आकर बोला गया कि इनका बैग कुछ एक्सचेंज हो गया है और इसलिए उनको उतारा जा रहा है। जब ये नीचे उतरे तो यहाँ पे पता चला कि डीसीपी ने इनको डीप्लेन किया है और कोई नोटिस सर्व करने की बात है। हमारा सवाल ये है कि ये किसके ऑर्डर से हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, हमारे महाधिवेशन में ये व्यवधान क्यों डाला जा रहा है और ऐसा पवन जी ने क्या कहा है? अगर पवन जी ने कुछ कहा तो आप कार्रवाई करिए। डीप्लेन आप किस धारा के अंतर्गत कर रहे हैं? और हम लोग तब तक यहाँ खड़े रहेंगे जब तक हम सब लोग फ्लाइट में वापस इंक्लूडिंग पवन खेरा जी बैठ नहीं जाते।
Now, it's been a few hours, a few minutes at least, since that drama unfolded on the tarmac here at the national capital, and that continues. Unfortunately, those people who are the other passengers who are inside that aircraft continue to bear the brunt before Indigo decides what next. My colleague was reporting from on ground there when the Congress leaders decided to deplane along with Pawan Khera and sit there on a dharna right there on the tarmac. Take a look at this report.
दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पर कांग्रेस के नेता हंगामा कर रहे हैं, नारेबाजी कर रहे हैं। उसकी वजह यह है कि पवन खेड़ा को डीबोर्ड किया गया है, ये कह के कि पुलिस आपको नोटिस सर्व करने आ रही है। इसी फ्लाइट में पवन खेड़ा बोर्डिंग कर चुके थे। कांग्रेस के तमाम नेता यहाँ पर आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद उनको सामान पहचानने की बात कह के नीचे उतारा गया। फिर पुलिस यहाँ पर आई है और पुलिस पवन खेड़ा के साथ देखिए इस वक्त बातचीत कर रही है, चर्चा कर रही है। यहाँ पर अगर आपको मैं तस्वीरें दिखा सकूं, देखिए यहाँ पर पुलिस है सादी वर्दी में और एक वर्दीधारी पुलिसकर्मी भी यहाँ पर आया उनको नोटिस सर्व करने। पवन खेड़ा यहाँ पर दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको, और ये जो ग्राउंड स्टाफ है वो चारों तरफ आपको नजर आ रहा होगा। फिलहाल जो फ्लाइट है वो यहाँ पर खड़ी है, तमाम जो यात्री हैं वो नीचे उतर चुके हैं। कांग्रेस के नेता नारेबाजी कर रहे हैं और इस वक्त आलम यह है कि दिल्ली से रायपुर जा रही फ्लाइट अपनी जगह पर खड़ी है और नहीं जा पा रही।
News coming in now, and Indigo, which is the airline, has now issued a statement. They have come out and confirmed that one of the passengers was deplaned. They haven't named Pawan Khera, but we do know the Congress has confirmed that it was Pawan Khera who was deplaned from that flight from Delhi to Raipur. The flight is delayed, is what Indigo has now come out and confirmed. Ridhima, my colleague, joining us for more details. Now, Ridhima, even as Indigo has issued this statement, if you could put this in perspective for our viewers, when exactly this flight was scheduled to leave and how long has it been since the other passengers have already been waiting for?
Puram, as you rightly pointed out, now an official statement coming in from Indigo. It's been a couple of hours since the flight was originally supposed to take off and has now been delayed. This is the confirmation that's coming in from Indigo. Indigo is saying they're now in the process of putting the flights together and taking off, but they're still waiting a clearance as far as the ATC is concerned. But as far as the statement is concerned, as you rightly pointed out, they haven't named Pawan Khera, but this is in fact being confirmed by the Congress. This in fact confirms what we were putting out for our viewers a short while ago as far as what the sequence of events looks like. Pawan Khera and the other Congress delegation had cleared security. They were seated in the plane about to take off when there were police officials who wanted Pawan Khera. They identified Pawan Khera and asked him to deplane or deboard. Following this, the other Congress leaders also followed him. This, in fact, has been confirmed in the Indigo statement as well. This, of course, has led to an eventual delay of the flight. As I pointed out earlier, Indigo now is in the process of putting the flights together and waiting for the clearance to take off.
Right, just to put this in perspective for our viewers, the flight was scheduled to depart New Delhi at 11:45 a.m. It's 1:17 as we speak and as we bring this broadcast to you. Even now, that aircraft is still on the tarmac here at the Delhi airport. Protests continue there with Congress leaders who are travelling with Pawan Khera sitting on the tarmac protesting. Pawan Khera himself was waiting for the Delhi police to come and question him, because that is the reason why he was deplaned. Remember, this comes at a time when 2 FIRs have been registered against Pawan Khera over the comments that he had made about Prime Minister Modi's father. Congress claims that this is the BJP using tactics because they are rattled by the Congress party. Even as that political drama and that dharna continues on the tarmac at the Delhi's IGI Airport, there are several other passengers on board that Delhi-Raipur flight who have been waiting patiently for an hour and a half, at least, waiting, not knowing what happens next. Ridhima, now Indigo has come out and said that they regret the inconvenience that has been caused. But do we have any inkling of when this flight will eventually take off?
I've spoken to a few people in the airline, Poonam, and this is exactly what they're saying. They're choosing their words very carefully at this point. We do know the flight was supposed to take off 15 minutes before 12, that's at 11:45 a.m., but we still don't have a clearance is what they're saying. They're still trying to put all the passengers in place, and they're still waiting a clearance from the police as well, because as we pointed out, what happened is it's not just Pawan Khera who in fact deboarded the plane or was asked to deboard. The other Congress delegation also deboarded, and they refused to get back into the flight till the time that answers as to what is happening with Pawan Khera. So the airline is saying they're still awaiting clarity on that line as officials are concerned, and that's why the flight is still at the tarmac. As we go back to what we were discussing earlier, this is going to result in a lot of delay for the other passengers who possibly had business or work trips to do as far as Raipur is concerned. But the flight currently still at the tarmac is delayed. The airline says they're awaiting a clearance to take off.
Yes, do stay on with me. Congress's Manikam Tagore is with us on the phone line. So thank you so much for speaking with us. Before I get into what exactly is transpiring, I just want to ask you, are you with the Congress delegation at the IGI Airport in Delhi?
No, I'm not there in that flight. I'm in the...
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. In complete breakdown of law and order situation in Punjab, high drama erupted at the Ajnala police station as supporters of self-styled preacher and head of the Waris Panjab, Amritpal Singh, blocked the Jalandhar-Amritsar National Highway. They gear out the entire Ajnala police station, brought down barriers and brandished swords as well. Hundreds of protesters gathered to protest against the preventive arrest of 2 of Amritpal's supporters and also against the FIR which had been filed against Amritpal Singh. Now, the self-proclaimed Sikh leader had asked the government to cancel the FIR against him as well as his supporters. Remember, just a few days ago, Amritpal Singh had in fact warned of a gathering of such kind at the Ajnala police station with his supporters in large number to offer his arrest.
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਭੇਜਿਆ 14 ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਜੁਡੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਰਿਮਾਂਡ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਐਵੀਡੈਂਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਬਿਆਨ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਿਆਨ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅਮਰਿਤਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਟਿਆ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਪਰਚਾ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ 5 ਧਰਾਵਾਂ ਲਾਤੀਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਬਿਆਨ ਦਿੰਨਾ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਰਨੇ ਪਰਚਾ ਇਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਤੋਂ ਪਰਚਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੀ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਮੰਗ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਮੈਂ ਉਦਣ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਜਿੱਦਣ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ 1 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ ਮੈਂ 4 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਬੋਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਜੋਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਦਿੰਨਾ ਅੱਧੇ ਘੰਟੇ ਜਾਂ ਘੰਟੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਚਾ ਨਾ ਕੈਂਸਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਸਨ ਹੈ
कोई भी मतलब अनसुखावी चीज़ां ना होण क्योंकि पब्लिक भी है और सारी है इन्होंने भी विश्वास दवाया कि बिल्कुल जिहड़ा जो इन्होंने अपनियां मंगां सीगियां जो गल्लां बातां सीगियां साडे नाल कीतियां वो असीं पूर्ति कर रहे हैं इन्वेस्टिगेशन भी होगी जो इन्हां दियां सीगियां सिट बने और उन्होंने डिस्चार्ज होवे वो जो भी मुकदमे नूं जिहड़ा खत्म किया जाए जो भी है वो सारियां असीं कीतियां और इन्होंने भी विश्वास दवाया कि बिल्कुल पीसफुल तरीके दे नाल रहणगे और कोई भी जिहड़ी अनसुखानी जिहड़ी है वो नहीं होएगी ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰੂਫ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਹੈ ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਟ੍ਰਾਇਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ ਬੈਟਰ ਹੈ
So who really is this self-styled preacher who ran riot as far as Punjab is concerned, specifically as far as the Ajnala police station is concerned. Now, he's being seen as the new poster boy of Sikh radical politics as far as Punjab is concerned. More importantly, he's been appointed as the head of Waris Panjab in 2022, and from then we've seen a lot of initiations by him. He initiated over 1,000 people in the Sikh faith. He's also made some very open declarations. He's openly declared people like Bhinderwale as his inspiration, so you can see where the mindset is coming from. But as we've been pointing out, he's actually not new to controversy, and today he gave an open threat to the police, and now the police seems to have given in to his demands, and they will release a close aid of him in the next 24 hours. Let's also bring in our colleague Napinder Brar, who in fact has been tracking all these developments. So Napinder, पंजाब पुलिस ने ऐसा लग रहा है कि मांगे मान ली हैं। अमृतपाल की एक क्लोज एड को 24 घंटे में रिहा कर दिया जाएगा। पुलिस का क्या कहना है और अमृतपाल अब क्या कह रहे हैं?
देखिए, पुलिस का जिस तरह से आजकल यहाँ पुलिस जिस तरह से बस्ती बचाती रही, तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर हम यह कह लें कि पुलिस ने सरेंडर कर दिया तो शायद गलत नहीं होगा। आज पुलिस झुकती हुई नजर आई है एक दबाव के आगे। जिस तरह से आज पुलिस थाने के बाहर घेराव हुआ, प्रोटेस्ट हुआ, और उसके बाद जिस तरह से भीड़ उग्र हुई, थाने के अंदर चले गए, जिस तरह से हंगामा हुआ, उसके बाद लगता है कि शायद पुलिस को यहाँ तक लगने लगा होगा कि अब यह चीजें उनके बस में नहीं रही, और कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि ये हालात और भी खराब हो जाए। और दूसरी तरफ पंजाब में बिजनेस इन्वेस्ट प्रोग्राम हो रहा है। पंजाब में ज्यादा से ज्यादा बिजनेसमैन को जो लाने की कोशिश की जा रही है, पंजाब को तरक्की के रास्ते ले जाने की बात की जा रही है। दूसरी तरफ अमृतसर में यह सब हो रहा है, तो लगता है कि पुलिस एक भारी दबाव में थी। पुलिस ने इसी दबाव के चलते तुरंत फैसला लिया। कोई ज्यादा मुझे लगता है कि शायद सोचने का भी उन्हें समय नहीं मिला, और स्पष्ट लफ्जों में पुलिस झुकती हुई नजर आई। स्पष्ट लफ्जों में पुलिस सरेंडर करने के हालात में नजर आई। तभी जो पुलिस आज तक कह रही थी कि अमृतपाल को गिरफ्तार करेंगे, उसके घर पे छापेमारी की जा रही है, रेड की जा रही है, वही पुलिस आज सीधे यहाँ तक कहती हुई नजर आई कि इनकी जो डिमांड्स है वो हम मान रहे हैं, इनके साथी को जो डिस्चार्ज करने जो ये कह रहे हैं वो हम करेंगे। और यहाँ तक है कि हमारी इनसे बात हुई है कि यह लोग भी शांति बनाकर रखेंगे। इसके मायने यही है कि पुलिस को झुकना पड़ा आज के दबाव के सामने, अमृतपाल के दबाव के सामने। जी
नपिंदर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमें वो डिटेल्स देने के लिए। लेट्स ऑल्सो नाउ ब्रिंग इन आवर गेस्ट टू ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड how should we read today's developments, and the larger question is, what does this mean as far as a law and order situation in the state of Punjab is concerned? We have former IPS officer Dr. Vikram Singh, who is joining us on the broadcast. So how did you see the developments today? Let's begin with the latest information that's coming in. This is exactly what my colleague Napinder was also pointing out. The Punjab police giving in to the demands of Amritpal. He gave an open threat. He said, either you agree to my demands, or then whatever happens is going to be on you. Now we're understanding a close aid of Amritpal, in fact, is going to be released in the next 24 hours. Isn't this a very dangerous precedent that is being set?
Very disconcerting, to say the least, and extremely disturbing. I would have been very happy if the police had promulgated Section 144 of the CRPC and banned all such illegal assemblies and brandishing of swords and firearms. The attack on the policemen and the policemen beating a retreat and conceding to the demands rather too swiftly does not augur well for the law and order situation and the ecosystem. I would have been extremely satisfied. Punjab police is a very professional police force, but I feel that there is considerable pressure that they gave in to the pro-Khalistani elements within this agitation, and Amritpal Singh has not covered himself with glory. The way he has threatened the top leadership of the country, the way he has threatened, I was following your program minute by minute, and the way he was spewing venom that either do this and giving ultimatums and also saying or face the consequences. Yeah. To the contrary, nobody has a right to speak like that, and somebody has spoken. I do hope that videography has been done, because this would be imperative in the course of time. I feel in the next 15 days, it's going to be a battle of strength between Amritpal and the Punjab police. And this has to be not nipped in the bud, but crushed in the bud, because giving a long rope to any such element is courting the recipe of disaster.
But you know what is also worrying here, sir, is that this in fact was not spontaneous. His supporters coming and targeting the Ajnala police station, because Amritpal had already made a clarion call that all of you should gather at this particular date and time so that I can offer my arrest. So they knew that something like this could happen. But what possibly the police didn't see coming was the kind of drama that unfolded. The numbers, they were completely overpowered and overnumbered. These supporters were brandishing swords. They indulged in lathi charge also. The police had to resort to lathi charge. They put down the barricades as well. At one point, there was a complete siege around the police station. So what does this then mean as far as the law and order situation is concerned?
It was almost a free-for-all around the police station, Ajnala of Amritsar, a border state and a border district, and things would have been much better if the police did only what was allowed in the rule book: promulgation of the prohibitory orders, prevention of the brandishing of weapons, and did not allow the crowd to collect. Obviously, they have been caught on the wrong foot, and if they've been caught on the wrong foot, I had expected a lot more. Then the open challenge given by Amritpal, not only the challenge, he challenged and he got away with lawlessness and a free-for-all that happened around the police station Ajnala. You can see in your own visuals, faithfully recorded, that the policemen are being brutalized, attacked, and I would compliment that they displayed exemplary tolerance. But this is not what is expected. The police show tolerance till a limit. When the threshold is crossed, then take action what is mandated by law. And this is what was required. Preventive action and then action as per law. One should not be vindictive. I totally agree. It is counterproductive to be vindictive. But yes, the law allows you the basic requirement to take preventive action and make preventive arrest. Not a single preventive arrest, not a single prohibitory order. Well, you had it coming and you were caught on the wrong foot. Then don't blame anybody else. I blame you for being a little unprofessional. Be more professional in times to come.
And someone like Amritpal, he's not new to controversy. The kind of comments that he's made in the past have been out in the public domain. He sees somebody like Bhinderwale as an inspiration, then what do you really expect? But what is also concerning is the silence of the state government. The police has been caught napping and no reaction coming in from the state government either. Then who is giving whom, some sort of leverage to indulge in writing like this?
You are drawing the right conclusions. The police work in an ecosystem created by the state government. Not a word of condemnation from the state government. This is what is a cause of concern. Not a word of condemnation from any political person in the ruling party. It is a cause of concern. Do you mean to say that it is silent approval of what has happened? And if that is the case, then I would strongly recommend the central government should consider what they should do with such a state government which chooses to remain silent in this mayhem and lawlessness. Second, the state government has not only deprecated whatever has happened, but also to give clear instructions that law and order has to be maintained. You are having an investors conference. If this be the backdrop of the in the investors conference, well, God help the success of this proposed investors conference.
Right.
The police had better have their intelligence antenna up. And you very rightly mentioned that his record is absolutely abysmally low. He was without kesh and turban when he was in Dubai. He is not something he has brought. He has been a new wild card entry into this so that he can replace Bhindranwala's cycle. But that is not going to happen. I think everybody needs to wake up. The state government, the Punjab police and the intelligence apparatus.
Yeah, a lot of questions that now need to be answered by the Punjab police, specifically as to why they agreed to the demands of Amritpal. Vikram Singh, we leave the conversation there. Always a pleasure speaking to you. We're slipping into a very short break. We're coming back with lots more.
Fortunately, those people who are the other passengers who are inside that aircraft continue to bear the brunt before Indigo decides what next. My colleague was reporting from on ground there when the Congress leaders decided to deplane along with Pawan Khera and sit there on a dharna right there on the tarmac. Take a look at this report.
दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पर कांग्रेस के नेता हंगामा कर रहे हैं, नारेबाजी कर रहे हैं। उसकी वजह यह है कि पवन खेड़ा को डीबोर्ड किया गया है, ये कह के कि पुलिस आपको नोटिस सर्व करने आ रही है। इसी फ्लाइट में पवन खेड़ा बोर्डिंग कर चुके थे। कांग्रेस के तमाम नेता यहाँ पर आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद उनको सामान पहचानने की बात कह के नीचे उतारा गया। फिर पुलिस यहाँ पर आई है और पुलिस पवन खेड़ा के साथ देखिए इस वक्त बातचीत कर रही है, चर्चा कर रही है। यहाँ पर अगर आपको मैं तस्वीरें दिखा सकूं, देखिए यहाँ पर पुलिस है सादी वर्दी में और एक वर्दीधारी पुलिसकर्मी भी यहाँ पर आया उनको नोटिस सर्व करने। पवन खेड़ा यहाँ पर दिखाई दे रहे हैं आपको और ये जो ग्राउंड स्टाफ है वो चारों तरफ आपको नजर आ रहा होगा। फिलहाल जो फ्लाइट है वो यहाँ पर खड़ी है, तमाम जो यात्री हैं वो नीचे उतर चुके हैं। कांग्रेस के नेता नारेबाजी कर रहे हैं और इस वक्त आलम यह है कि दिल्ली से रायपुर जा रही फ्लाइट अपनी जगह पर खड़ी है और नहीं जा पा रही।
News coming in now, and Indigo, which is the airline, has now issued a statement. They have come out and confirmed that one of the passengers was deplaned. They haven't named Pawan Khera, but we do know the Congress has confirmed that it was Pawan Khera who was deplaned from that flight from Delhi to Raipur. The flight is delayed, is what Indigo has now come out and confirmed. Ridhima, my colleague, joining us for more details. Now, Ridhima, even as Indigo has issued this statement, if you could put this in perspective for our viewers, when exactly this flight was scheduled to leave and how long has it been since the other passengers have already been waiting for?
Puram, as you rightly pointed out, now an official statement coming in from Indigo. It's been a couple of hours since the flight was originally supposed to take off and has now been delayed. This is the confirmation that's coming in from Indigo. Indigo is saying they're now in the process of putting the flights together and taking off, but they're still waiting a clearance as far as the ATC is concerned. But as far as the statement is concerned, as you rightly pointed out, they haven't named Pawan Khera, but this is in fact being confirmed by the Congress. This in fact confirms what we were putting out for our viewers a short while ago as far as what the sequence of events looks like. Pawan Khera and the other Congress delegation had cleared security. They were seated in the plane about to take off when there were police officials who wanted Pawan Khera. They identified Pawan Khera and asked him to deplane or deboard. Following this, the other Congress leaders also followed him. This, in fact, has been confirmed in the Indigo statement as well. This, of course, has led to an eventual delay of the flight. As I pointed out earlier, Indigo now is in the process of putting the flights together and waiting for the clearance to take off.
Right, just to put this in perspective for our viewers, the flight was scheduled to depart New Delhi at 11:45 a.m. It's 1:17 as we speak and as we bring this broadcast to you. Even now, that aircraft is still on the tarmac here at the Delhi airport. Protests continue there with Congress leaders who are travelling with Pawan Khera sitting on the tarmac protesting. Pawan Khera himself was waiting for the Delhi police to come and question him because that is the reason why he was deplaned. Remember, this comes at a time when 2 FIRs have been registered against Pawan Khera over the comments that he had made about Prime Minister Modi's father. Congress claims that this is the BJP using tactics because they are rattled by the Congress party. Even as that political drama and that dharna continues on the tarmac at the Delhi's IGI Airport, there are several other passengers on board that Delhi-Raipur flight who have been waiting patiently for an hour and a half, at least, waiting, not knowing what happens next. Ridhima, now Indigo has come out and said that they regret the inconvenience that has been caused. But do we have any inkling of when this flight will eventually take off?
I've spoken to a few people in the airline, Poonam, and this is exactly what they're saying. They're choosing their words very carefully at this point. We do know the flight was supposed to take off 15 minutes before 12, that's at 11:45 a.m., but we still don't have a clearance is what they're saying. They're still trying to put all the passengers in place and they're still waiting a clearance from the police as well. Because as we pointed out, what happened is it's not just Pawan Khera who in fact deboarded the plane or was asked to deboard. The other Congress delegations also deboarded and they refused to get back into the flight till the time that answers as to what is happening with Pawan Khera. So the airline is saying they're still awaiting clarity on that line as officials are concerned, and that's why the flight is still at the tarmac. As we go back to what we were discussing earlier, this is going to result in a lot of delay for the other passengers who possibly had business or work trips to do as far as Raipur is concerned. But the flight currently still at the tarmac is delayed. The airline says they're awaiting a clearance to take off.
Yes, do stay on with me. Congress's Manikam Tagore is with us on the phone line. So thank you so much for speaking with us. Before I get into what exactly is transpiring, I just want to ask you, are you with the Congress delegation at the IGI Airport in Delhi?
No, I'm not there in that flight. I'm on the way to the airport because I'm taking the next flight. It's 3:30 flight to Raipur.
Sure. So, Mr. Tagore, we do know that there are several Congress leaders, the entire delegation, in fact, who decided to deplane along with Pawan Khera. They are now sitting there on protest. For how long is this going to go on?
We need to understand that there is no FIR, there is no warrant that's shown it. They are not shown any kind of proof of any kind of document also. They just inform that your bag is, you have to identify the bag and Mr. Pawan Khera was requested to come down, and then illegally they told thing that CISF and they told that Delhi police wanted to have a word with you on some other case. Then they told thing that the FIR is there and UP Assam police has come. For these kind of things inside the airport, if this flimsy ground, the way the government is misusing the agencies, whether we are going towards Hitler Raj, that is the question we need to ask it. Whether it's inconvenience for the passengers, it is inconvenience for everybody. Why this government is hell-bent on doing these kind of cheap things? I am unable to understand that the CISF is involved, Delhi police is involved, Assam police is involved. Means what else? Without a piece of paper, without a warrant, without any kind of notice. Where we are heading for it? This is very unfortunate, and we have to be responsible, and the government has to behave the way. They can't be so arrogant the way they are thinking that they are going to be permanently in power. They can't misuse every agency.
Sure, but Manikam Tagore, do you think the tarmac is the place for raising these kind of questions and raising this kind of protest? There are other passengers, there are other people in this country that are being inconvenienced. This was the time by which the flight should have landed in Raipur.
Well, that's the correct thing. That's a good question you are asking. But the problem is that if you have to ask the CISF, CISF work is to protect the air tarmac. And their duty is to protect the CISF. CISF can't be just playing in the hands of Mr. Amit Shah and Himanta Biswa Sarma. They can't be just buffoons of these people. They have to behave. They have to.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. Some breaking developments now coming in. A first-year PG student, Deep Preeti, studying at the Kakatiya Medical College in Warangal, attempted suicide is what we're understanding, and this after she was allegedly being harassed and bullied by a senior PG student who's also now been identified as Saif from the same college. Now, based on the girl's father's complaint, police have now taken the accused Saif into custody, booked under the SC/ST Act for ragging. The governor, Tamilisai Soundarajan, will also be visiting the student at NIMS Hospital. That's the update coming in. My colleague Swastika Das now joining us on the broadcast. Swastika, some very unfortunate news coming in. Do we understand for how long this harassment or ragging had been going on? What was the complaint of the father? But more importantly, what is the current condition of this student?
Well, I'll start with your last question first. The victim is said to be, or the student is said to be under a serious condition because she injected herself with a chemical substance. We don't know what kind of chemical substance she injected herself with, but yes, she was found in an unconscious state at her college in Warangal. And to give you a quick backdrop of what the case is, it has been alleged that this particular student, identified as Preeti, was allegedly facing being bullied by one of her seniors who is now being taken into custody. She was not given leave. She was in fact misbehaved with. There's no sexual angle that has come to light so far. The police have ruled out that for now. But what we know is that this seems to be a case of bullying, because she has gone on to allege how because of hailing from the SC community, she was allegedly being targeted. In fact, her father, while speaking to the general media, has told that there have been instances where she would continuously cry profusely, asking him to change the college because she was not able to adjust. And she took the extreme step despite bringing the matter before the college principal. In fact, just 3 days ago, we have learned that both the sides were counseled. The senior student in question was also counseled. But despite that, the survivor in this case says that she was continuously being abused and manhandled, and also intimidated by her senior, which sort of forced her to take this step. I also want to place on record that these are complete allegations at this point in time. The police cannot proceed with the investigation further. They're waiting for the victim to recover so that they can record her statement. But they've gone ahead with the record of the HOD and other student council members of that particular college, the Kakatiya Medical College, to ascertain what went wrong.
Okay, Swastika, we'll leave the conversation there. Keep tracking those developments for us. With that, it's a wrap from my side, but news continues here on CNN News 18. Plain Speak is up next.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. High voltage drama took place at the Delhi's International Airport today. Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera was deplaned while boarding a flight to Raipur for the Congress plenary session. He was later detained by Assam cops. Congress leaders, including Randeep Surjewala, KC Venugopal and Supriya Shrinate, sat on a dharna, that too on the tarmac of the